Happy Valentine's Day, everybody! My cute secret admirer sent me all these flowers. Just kidding, it was my father-in-law. Thanks, James. My name is Teresa and I am here to help you guys document your life, live it amazing, and share it on Instagram. And today, because of Valentine's Day, I'm going to be talking about my experiences as a destination wedding photographer because everyone just got engaged, which means it's engagement season, which means that it's time for you guys to take amazing engagement pictures, okay? I think that I personally am a 10 times better engagement photographer than I am a wedding photographer. I absolutely love engagement photography work and just having fun with people as they're so excited and celebrating that they're in love. Engagements can be really intimidating, so I'm going to share with you guys the 10 poses that I do every single time at every session to make sure that you rock this engagement session. The first pose that I'm going to be talking about is the invitation announcement pose, okay? Now this is the pose that they're aiming to get out of engagement, so just get it done right away. If you don't get this picture, someone's mom is going to be really mad at you. I know that I've gotten critiques from parents being like, oh, there's not enough pictures of them looking at the camera, because I'm a really raw and emotional photographer and I'm trying to capture their fun, wild, crazy love. And in order to do that, they're usually not looking at the camera like, So I like to try and get this one done first, get it out of the way, and make sure that we're all handled. So the invitation pose is the girl gets on her good side, and then whatever side that is, she puts the ring on that finger, puts her hand on his chest, and smiles. Now if it's the wrong side and it's not this side of her face, you're going to flip the picture in post so that it looks like it's on the right hand, but you get her good side. Because at the end of the day, that's what's important. Pose number 2, your foreheads are magnets. That's usually how I direct this one. I just tell them get really close and make your foreheads magnets, and you're going to close your eyes, because if you don't close your eyes, you look like a creep. It's fine if they're kind of peeking a little bit, but if he is looking down straight at her with his eyes open, it's kind of weird. So this one is fun. There's a few variations that you can put on it in that way, but just making your foreheads magnets I think is the easiest way to direct this pose. Number 3 is potato sack. Now, I just direct this one by saying, make sure that you grab her and spin her around like a sack of potatoes, and that's basically how you get this shot. Talk to him and make it this like a competition for him or her, I don't know, and make it that it is a thing that he has to get the most air with her as possible. That he's spinning her around and using gravity to get her up in the air, and you can get some really amazing pictures in this. Little pro tip is if you do this on kind of like a dusty surface in golden hour, that's when the dust is going to kick up and it's going to look like there's light coming through it. It's going to be like 10 times more epic, so give that one a try. 4. Uncomfortably close. Now I mean uncomfortably close. You're gonna get right up on their grill. Usually I'm shooting this with a 35mm lens, either that or an 85. An 85 you can get a little bit farther back, but with a 35 you're gonna be right up in their grill. And I love getting this close. I usually shoot these at about 1.8, maybe 2.0. I don't like going down to 1.6 or 1.4. I think it makes it a little bit too soft. But if you're using around 2.0, you should be able to get both faces in frame and just have fun. Tell them I'm gonna get really close here and I want you guys to just whisper weird things into each other's ears, and you'll get some cool pictures that way. Number 5, tiny people. I think that's something that helps make sure that there's some variation in your portfolio here when you're sending off a bunch of engagement pictures, is having varying distances. I like making sure that I get one from pretty far away that makes them feel small and also shows a bigger story, shows the environment that they're in, and makes more of a narrative out of this experience that they're having. Another great way is to switch up lenses. I know I shoot a lot on my 35, but if I switch to a 50 or an 85, it usually adds a different quality to it and they feel like they got more for what they asked for. Number 6 is going to be your sneak attack. So you're going to have it that you conspire with the groom beforehand and tell him, hey, you know, you're gonna sneak up on her, but I'm gonna have her doing some pose. I'm like, okay, I just want a picture of her. You're gonna come around the back and you're just gonna come and grab her around the center and do whatever you want. You can, I like to tell people to throw her over your shoulder like a goblin stealing a princess. Whatever you want to do, it's all about having fun. You have to make this a fun experience for them. So if he comes over and grabs her around the waist, sometimes he picks her up, sometimes he just holds her, and that I think is a really great opportunity to get a from behind the back pose, okay? So it never really works with him looking. It's good when he is looking straight at her and kind of nuzzling his face into her side. She's probably laughing hysterically because she didn't see this coming. So sneak attack / picture from behind. Number 7, get down. I warned my people beforehand, you're going to be doing crazy stuff. I'm going to make you get on the ground. I'm going to make you get upside down. You're going to be thrown all over the place. And if they get on the ground, it usually adds a different quality. Being able to get an aerial shot of them laying together in the grass and kissing or something like that. I think that this one is always a fun one to add in. Number 8 is the almost kiss. Now I feel like this has a ton of variations. It could be a hand kiss, it could be a forehead kiss, it could be a full-on kiss, but just having this moment where he is grabbing her chin, and I like to tell them to kind of like put their thumb on the chin and pull it up. And make sure that you tell them, close your eyes, because nobody likes pictures of people kissing with their eyes open. Nobody does, you look like a weirdo. But have them kind of doing something with their faces close together and like they're about to kiss. If it's during golden hour, you might be able to get that sun coming right behind them and use like, you know, the space between their noses to get the light in. Perfect. Anyway, do that one. Number 9 is the drunk walk. That's literally how I direct this one, because I love to get pictures of people walking together and holding hands, but they become fun when you tell them, hey, I'm gonna have you pretend that Jessica here is really, really drunk and you're just trying to get her home and in bed before she peeks all over herself. When they're pretending that they're drunk, they're laughing more, they're smiling, they're walking a little bit slower, and they're having a really fun time. Another way to say that is, well, how about you guys walk towards me slowly, but try to bump each other's hips as many times as you can. You're gonna get something fun out of that. Number 10 might be something that just I do regularly, but I love getting an American Gothic pose. And that is the two people standing next to each other but not touching. And it doesn't have to be the direct American Gothic where they're kind of standing with like a pitchfork kind of idea, but I like the idea of them separate, not touching. I think it's fun if you put a variation on this, like having the girl do like a big crazy dance and have him just checking her out or something. Or having them running next to each other but really far away from each other. It allows you to step back and take a picture of the bigger scene as a whole. And she's gonna love it, probably get it printed out on her wall. I think it's really important that every photographer get all these things done as quickly as possible so that they have as much good content that their mom wants right away, so that for the rest of the time you can have a lot of fun with them and take really crazy pictures and get them to do weird things. Usually I will instruct them to do something weird, like, you know, get as jumbled up as you possibly can, like a pretzel, you know, get yourselves all tied in and then melt into that so that they get as close and weird as possible, because when they're being weird, you're gonna get the best pictures. I think every photographer should have a signature pose, and I do have one. I like to get a signature shot every time where the bride kind of hides herself down below the groom and puts her hands up behind his head. So when she puts his hands behind her head, she puts the hand with the ring on top. Can we just appreciate my nails for a second? Right? Right? Amazing. It's that 90s cup. But she puts her hand with the ring on top of the other hand, and you say, I want to see some love in your hands. So she grips the back of the guy's head, and then you get to see the back of his head and her ring and the big situation that they're in. I think it's intimate and cute. It's my pose. If you give it a try, tag me on Instagram @TravelTeresa and give a shout out to my pose. I think it's always great to just instruct them to keep moving, always moving. Tell them not to wait for you to pose them. Tell them to just be weird. If she wants to grab his butt, she can do that. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be amazing. But also make sure that you know what you can put in the gallery or not, because their mom might not like pictures of her grabbing his butt. But any of that stuff, just get to know them and really get them moving. Tell them to constantly be shuffling his feet and doing weird stuff with her. You're gonna get amazing pictures in that way. And I always try to get a new perspective every time. I always try a new shot or run something by them at first. So I will find like a movie poster that I really like and say, hey, we want to want to try to recreate the Twilight poster for a second here, you know, like this is this, want to give it a shot, and in doing so it helps me to get better as a photographer and offer more creative work to them. So constantly be looking for inspiration for all this kind of stuff. I think that you're going to do amazing things this engagement season. I so hope that you loved all of my work that I shared with you and all these amazing tips that I was able to give you. If you want to learn more about photography or Instagram, I'd recommend smashing that like button and hitting subscribe and hanging out with me here, because I'm going to be giving updates every week on how to be a better photographer and better Instagram girl and living a better life altogether. Who doesn't want that? And I would also super appreciate it if you followed me on Instagram, because, you know, it's the most important thing in my life. I'm not kidding. It really is. It would mean a lot to me. I'll Venmo you $1 if you follow me on Instagram. Anyway, love you guys. Tune in next week when we're talking more about photography. Bye! I hope that you guys love this video. Quick ad so that I can pay my bills. I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about Honeybook today. Honeybook is the ultimate client management software. They provide the most beautiful interface for you to be able to communicate with your clients. If you're new into photography and you're trying to get more professional, 100% it's the best investment that you could make, and I have a link to getting 50% off on a Honeybook account right below if you want to click that. Highly, highly, highly recommend it. It'll make you look professional, and all of the platforms that it has feel professional.